This is the portable air conditioner that actually cools a medium to large room fast without pulling hot air from the hallway or outdoors. It keeps the space comfortable and drier even during a brutal afternoon heat wave. I am talking about a dual-hose portable air conditioner from Whynter, the ARC-143MX. It is the kind of unit I recommend to renters or anyone who cannot install a window unit, people with home offices full of warm electronics, or anyone trying to keep a living room or bedroom around 500 square feet at a steady, comfortable temperature. If you have tried a single-hose portable air conditioner and felt underwhelmed, this is built for the situation where you need real cooling without the usual drawbacks. The look is a clean platinum and black tower with rounded edges. It blends into a corner rather than shouting for attention, but what matters more is how the shape and layout affect daily use. The two large exhaust and intake ports sit high on the back to make hose routing simpler and to keep bends gentle. The hoses are thick, they twist lock into place, and they stay put once you seat them. The caster wheels roll smoothly on hard floors and tolerate rugs, though it is a heavy unit. If you plan to move it between rooms often, be honest with yourself about the weight. I can roll it across hardwood easily, but lifting it over thresholds or thick carpet edges takes some patience. The filter panels slide out without tools, and there is a simple storage bag for the accessories, which sounds minor, but it meant I did not lose the extra window pieces after the first weekend. Setup is straightforward if you take 10 patient minutes to measure and seal. I applied the included foam around the window frame, adjusted the slider plate, and secured the two round adapters. A tight seal matters more than anything with a portable unit. I kept the hoses as short and straight as my window allowed, which made a noticeable difference in cooling speed and noise. In my place, the window kit fit a vertical double-hung window without drama. If you have a crank window or a very wide sliding door, expect a bit more improvising with extra sealing material. The control panel on top is plain English with a bright readout that dims after a few seconds so it does not glow at night. The remote mirrors the controls and responds immediately. There is a clear click when the compressor engages, and the fan speed changes are instant. I also appreciate that it remembers settings after a brief power hiccup. Cooling performance is where this thing earns its space. The two-hose design means one hose draws outdoor air for the condenser and the other expels hot air. That keeps the room from going negative pressure, which is what causes single-hose units to suck warm air under doors and around window gaps. In practice, with the thermostat set to 74 degrees on a 90-degree afternoon, my living room dropped from 85 to 74 in about 40 minutes. After that, it cycled on and off to hold the temperature without overshooting. Airflow is strong straight out of the front grille. I could feel a steady stream from across the room, and it mixes the air well enough that there were no hot corners. On low fan, the sound is a smooth whoosh with a soft compressor thrum. On high, it is not whisper quiet, but it is a clean broadband sound that fades into the background after a few minutes. Humidity control is legit, not just a footnote. I ran it during a humid spell with indoor humidity around 60%. After roughly an hour and a half, my meter read just under 50%. The unit self-evaporates most of the condensate while cooling, so I did not have to empty a tank during normal air conditioning use. In dedicated dehumidify mode during a stormy day, it pulled a surprising amount of water, and I chose to attach a short drain hose into a floor drain. If your area is extremely humid, plan to use that drain option. The auto-evaporate system is real, but it is not magic. Heat management for tech is another angle where it shines. I have a compact office with a desktop workstation and lighting that warms the space by late afternoon. With the Whynter set 1 degree above my comfort point, it quietly keeps up without creating drafts on the microphone or blowing straight into the camera. For a home office setup, a steady temperature and a steady noise profile are more important than raw power, and that is exactly what I got. I also tried it overnight in a bedroom. Sleep mode brings the fan down and lets the compressor cycle a bit longer between runs. The tone is more like a consistent white noise than a choppy stop and start. The front panel light can be dimmed so it does not bother me. A small nitpick is the initial compressor click, which is audible in a very quiet room. It is not harsh, but I noticed it the first night. After that, I stopped noticing. In the kitchen during a weekend cooking session, with the oven and stovetop throwing heat, the two-hose design kept the air from drifting smells back into the room. The activated carbon filter does not turn this into an air purifier, but it reduces lingering odors and helps keep the air from feeling stale. After I shut the oven down, the unit cleared the heat bubble quickly and the room felt dry and comfortable, not muggy. There are a couple of things to be aware of before you commit. The window kit is sturdy, but like all portable kits, it assumes a fairly standard window. If you have a very narrow or very tall opening, you may need extra foam or a different panel. Because the unit is heavy, the caster wheels are doing real work. Rolling is fine, but I would not plan to carry this up and down stairs frequently. And though the noise profile is smoother than a lot of single hose models I have tested, if you are someone who needs absolute silence to sleep, any compressor-based unit may test your patience. The smart touches are the ones that actually get used. Auto mode manages cooling and fan speed to hold a target temperature without me babysitting it. The restart memory means a power blip does not wipe out my settings. The washable pre-filter is easy to rinse. I clean it every couple of weeks. The carbon filter is replaceable, and swapping it is simple. The timer lets me set it to kick on an hour before I get home so the room is ready. There is also a neat balance in how the thermostat behaves. It does not blast past the target and then coast too long. That translates to a more even-feeling room rather than hot-cold swings. I keep the hoses as short as possible, and that is worth repeating. Shorter hoses with smooth curves keep the compressor happier, reduce noise, and make the cooling more efficient. I also learned that pointing the front louvers slightly upward helps push cool air out to the far side of the room, where it falls evenly instead of chilling my ankles. Little placement tweaks like that make a noticeable difference. A specific scenario where this unit really impressed me was a late afternoon heat wave while shooting a video in the living room. I needed the space comfortable, but could not have a roaring fan ruining the audio. I set the temperature a few degrees below target for the first half hour to bring the room down quickly, then raised it to hold steady. The sound was a consistent hush, and I did not have to pause for sweaty breaks between takes. That is the kind of real quality of life improvement I am after with gear like this. Another useful scenario is during wildfire season when outdoor air is not great. With the two-hose design, you are not creating negative pressure that pulls smoky outdoor air in through every crack. It is not an air purifier, but paired with a simple room purifier. This setup kept indoor air tolerable when the outside air quality was rough. I also noticed that the seal around the window kit matters even more in those weeks, so I spent an extra few minutes adding foam strips around the edges, and it paid off. Compared with common single-hose portables, the bottom line here is consistency. The room gets cooler faster, stays there more easily, and the unit does not feel like it is fighting itself. The fan noise is smoother. The airflow has reach. The drain options cover both normal cooling and very humid stretches. The trade-offs are the weight, the two-hose window requirement, and a sound profile that is good, but not invisible. If you need a portable solution for a living room, a studio, a large bedroom, or a home office up to about 500 square feet, and you want results that feel close to a window unit without permanently installing anything, this is a strong pick. If you have non-standard windows, plan on a bit of extra ceiling work. If absolute silence is your top priority, you may want to keep this for daytime spaces and use a different option at night. For most people dealing with real heat and humidity, it is an easy recommendation because it does the basics right and does them reliably. I will leave it there. If you have questions I did not cover, drop them in the comments and I will circle back with specifics from my testing. I'll leave the details about the Whynter ARC-143MX in the comments for you to check out. See you in the next video.